Hi, Maria Levy from Northpointe Bank, and I'm here to have some fun and tell you about purchase renovation products. Probably this is the second time we're talking about it because I really want to get the word out about purchase renovation, the importance of it, the value of it, and nobody knows it better than you. I'm here with Gustav Andreasen from At Properties, who works throughout the Southeast Michigan area and works with a few builders, as well as does real estate, as well as consults. So Gustav, how can we simplify this and have some fun so people know the value of this product?
Yeah, great question, Maria, and thanks for having me here today. It's always fun talking with you. The purchase renovation product is just such a great product in the market, as it allows a buyer to purchase a home and then add enhancements to that home, whether they're as small as adding a privacy fence or as large as a complete kitchen, bathroom remodel. It really helps buyers sort of customize a product and allow them to create more of a dream home scenario than relying what has already been built in the marketplace. It's not a standard type of loan where you have to do like a 203K type of option here. It's really, you just have to have a licensed builder, add the, decide what you want to do while you're under contract, and then come up with a budget and execute after closing on getting, your renovations finished. It's an awesome product, and I think it's been wildly successful this year with us.
I think, just talking to you about it, people often think, well, why can't I just buy the house, put 5 or 20% down and get an equity line? An equity line is going to go off of present value. An appraiser looks at what the house sold for, and how much equity is in the house. The great thing about this product is that people, the appraiser's going off of future value. And nowadays, how many houses do you see that people love the architectural integrity and love the house, but there might be quite a bit of maybe older tile, doesn't have really good hardwood floors, sometimes not even have central air. And how often are you seeing that people don't want to pay for someone else's renovations?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and I think our example of clients we both had earlier this year that used this product, Luke and Melanie in Midtown, is a great example. So Luke and Melanie really wanted a great location in Detroit, very walkable. They loved Midtown, and there just wasn't much on the market. There was an older home that had sort of been sitting for a while, but the bathroom was probably from the 1950s and the kitchen was easily 1970s or 80s. And it was a really tired house, and it just did not show very well. With this product, we were able to see a vision of purchasing the house at a great price because of the outdated interior, adding a kitchen and bathroom for them, really modernizing the two most important components of the home for home buyers. We probably had a $50,000 or $60,000 renovation budget. After completing the renovation, that home was probably worth $100,000 more than they had initially purchased it for. So not only were they able to get a home and design it how they wanted, but they created an instant $50,000, $60,000 in additional equity just by making those improvements, bringing it up to modern, updated standards. So it was just a fantastic example of how this can really unlock wealth for you and also allow you to choose what type of finishes you want in the home. Personalize a kitchen, a bathroom, tile selections. It was it's really just so great for them, and I think such a good product that many people are unfamiliar with.
And I think they think that it's hard, and it's not that hard. I would say
no, it's not hard at all.
It's not hard, and in working with a flexible bank and lender that works with it and has that expertise makes a difference. I think it's important to get pre-approved because someone might actually buy a pre-existing home and not need this product, but if they fall in love with the house because they love the school system or they love the street and community, and then it does need this work, I always try to get someone to keep in mind that may be a possibility, and let's look at your potential purchase both ways. And then with that, when they sign a contract and they're in the inspection period, at that time, if they can move quickly, or even if they know that this is a high probability, they can get with you, even if they're working with another agent, and you can consult with them, because I know you've given a lot of people really good direction, or if it's your customer, but a customer then would coordinate and get their qualified contractor and builder in during the home inspection and identify what they actually need done, correct?
Yeah, correct. And I really sit in a unique position here because I'm both realtor, helping clients, find a home and knowing about this product, but then I also have connections in the general contracting business and have a close business partner who is a licensed builder who is approved at Northpointe Bank. So really, it's a very quick, hey, what are we going to do here? Let's come up with a budget. Let's submit that budget to the bank and underwriting to get it approved, and getting that work done after closing is pretty smooth based on the connections that I have with in the general contracting industry. So I sit in a unique position on kind of being on both sides, and I can help clients on both components, the real estate side and the general contracting side, or just the general contracting side, or just the real estate side. So really a unique position, and it's really helped me diversify my business and offer just such a great product to people. I mean, I've purchased 2 homes in my life. Both times my wife and I completely redid the kitchen and bathroom, and you get to make it yours, and you get to pick the tile you want, the colors, the cabinets, the countertops, the flooring, and when you move into that after it's done, it's brand spanking new, and it feels awesome.
New appliances, carpet, lighting, central air, or if there's a house that's got a missing furnace, we can solve that. Landscape, there's so much. So if you were to take, I think a lot of consumers and people in our community overlook as well, if they bought a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, even a $200,000 house, any amount, they're putting 5% down. They can, if it is a first-time home buyer, they can still get first-time home buyer benefits, as well as taking that $300,000 contract as an example, and then that potential $20,000, $50,000, $75,000 contract of improvements, we can put that together, and that's when you put those 2 contracts together, it's called an acquisition cost. So we would add the $300,000 purchase contract, the $50,000 build contract, put that together, it's $350,000, and now you're putting 5% down off of that, or 10 or 20, and the difference in down payment is minimal, and the difference in the house payment is minimal. You're not taking money out of your 401k, you're not using credit cards, you're not using your cash on hand.
Yeah, cash is king. I mean, let's keep as much cash in the bank and in your pocket as possible. So I think, financing the renovations and leveraging, yourself, as long as you can afford that monthly payment, is a great thing. Then you have the cash on hand if you were saving for a renovation or something like that, to invest in other assets that are going to give you a return versus putting all of your cash into just your house. So it's really a great product, and I'm surprised that not more people are utilizing it, because it's just such an effective product for people, especially in this market where you don't get a fully renovated house often, especially in the Detroit market. And when you do, it's usually pretty competitive if it's done well. And if it's not done well, do you really want to live in a new renovation that just doesn't really fit your style and taste? But in the Detroit market, there's lots of homes that need significant updates in great locations. And so this is an opportunity to kind of refresh some of those homes, get exactly what you want on kitchen, bathroom, floors, whatever you need, and really live in more of a dream home scenario than just taking what the market gives you.
And I think another misconception is, this area has homes from 1950s. Well, you could buy a house from 1980 or 2005 and not like the carpeting, or you may have outdated appliances. And a customer today, a consumer, if they had a little bit of credit challenges, then maybe we do take them into a different loan product. Then maybe a 203K would work, or a purchase renovation would work, or maybe they just need new appliances and we've got a green choice. So there's green products that are extensive with a lot of details to them and energy reports. I like the fast track of the green product that's under $6,500 and they can get a quote for new appliances is easy from Home Depot. There's always a way to make your kitchen pop. There's always a way.
Yeah, you could just add appliances or just add a new backsplash. I mean, you can do a very small renovation budget, a couple $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. Or you can do everything and spend $50,000, $100,000. There's really no limit with the program, so long as the renovation cost plus the acquisition cost of the home combined equals the future appraised value with the improvements. And Northpointe has been a tremendous partner of getting us, those honest appraisals of homes with the valuation of improvements, because that is what really takes the value of a home to the highest level in the marketplace, is updated kitchens, updated bathrooms, updated systems. And it allows, the housing stock just way more options for buying.
Well, we definitely use local appraisers and local appraisers that are vendors that have this expertise, not necessarily vendor, but they have the expertise of knowing the purchase renovation product. People also can use it for a garage, built-in pool, but not an above-the-ground pool, because that could, that changes the whole game of it. But it's a fun product. I think so many people like a house that's fully ready, but so often it's not necessarily the case, and they don't need to have any inconvenience with their time or schedule working with a professional.
Absolutely. And these renovations, they come in pretty timely. I mean, with the renovations we've done this year, they've been typically about, anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks to completion. And so you might have to stay in your current living situation before you move into the house for an extra month or two, or you're living in a construction site, but 6 to 10 weeks of slight inconvenience is definitely worth afterwards when you're living in, sort of this dream house scenario that you helped design.
And the last objection I think sometimes we hear, and I want to clear up, is if any individual is to pick tile or an appliance or a certain item, and then they think about it a week later and they want to swap the stove with a different stove, they can, or perhaps discuss a different color tile, or what if I do this? I think the key thing is don't say you're going to put in new appliances and then decide not to put in new appliances because the house was appraised that way and the plan was that way. But you definitely are flexible, and it could be a very positive experience that someone's getting a custom home exemplary of their personality, their taste, and achieve their dream. They didn't think they could get it done with very, very little funds.
Yeah, and I think the flexibility component is key, because you're trying to plan out while you're under contract what you want to do with the house. And in most instances, you execute that plan. But if you change your mind and you say, you know what, I actually kind of like this older bathroom and I don't really want to totally redo it, but we've budgeted $15,000 for that bathroom. The beautiful thing is that extra money that has been budgeted, if we don't spend it, it goes towards the principal of the loan. So there's really not a lot of risk if you change your mind and want to downscale from after we close on the loan. So it's just really
within a margin.
Within a certain margin. But yeah, there's just such flexibility and offers great opportunities for people.
And I would say the last thing that comes to mind, it all begins with a phone call. I joke about real life, real people. The right individual, working with the right individual is life-changing. And I don't want to think more of myself than I should. But, where someone purchases and the value and expertise you put into offering someone options is life-changing. It could determine a different school system, having a better home, having more funds, just for that one vacation because they're saving so much, not using their cash on renovation. And working with the right expert is life-changing.
It certainly is, yeah. It's great, and I think we have a great combination with your team at Northpointe and then my expertise and sort of my team and my contacts to really execute on this product for people. And it really is. It's life-changing. I mean, housing is everything, and when you can get exactly what you want and make it yours, it's even better.
We're both always a call or click away.
Always.
Thank you. I'm honored you were here.
Thanks for having me, Maria. I appreciate it. That was way better.
Boom. I think it was more relaxed.
You guys were out. You guys were vibing at the little table. It wasn't like dark back there. There's ghosts back there. I hear there's ghosts back there.
I know.
Well, Bomani's kind of stiff,
Bomani's scary.
We were both. I'm
stiff.
in my suit. He's in his suit. We're both like in our suit, and we're talking corporate. And then, you know what though? Let's give Bomani a kudos because he said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And if he didn't do that, we would.